I'm not the first, and I certainly won't be the last, to talk about how abhorrent the English language is. More specifically, how dumb some letters can be. I've always heard that English is one of the hardest languages to learn, and to be honest, I definitely agree. I mean, you see people everywhere constantly misusing the wrong form of their and your, and if English isn't their first language, can you really blame them? Like, if I were to say, they're on their thing over there. That is 3 uses of the pronunciation. The only difference is their spelling. Even then, there can be used in a few different ways as well. The main way being a location, like, oh, where's my controller? It's over there. But if someone's crying, you say, there. Like, you're not saying location, you know? It just somehow translates as a way to calm someone down. The English language has always had problems, and there are more examples of how abhorrent this is than what I've just given you. Because to be honest, there's levels to this. Oh, no, sorry. There's levels. No. I'm not saying level is over there. I'm saying there is levels to this. Oh no. For starters, I think we can all agree that silent letters are really goddamn stupid. Like the silent K is a big one, like in knife, night, no, knick-knack, paddywhack, give your dog a bone, and for the most part, they really just shouldn't be there. But in words like night, no, new, and not, removing the K leads to an already existing word, despite how completely different the two really are. A night with no K becomes the opposite of day, and not with no K is not but is now not. With no K, no now becomes now. Now not no, but no. It sucks, right? Oh, and that's another thing. The silent GH, like in light, bright, or right. For some reason, they all create the I sound. And if you were to take it out and instead put an E at the end, at least with right and light, they now become newer words. Or already existing ones, I should say. Or how about the much less covered, the silent B? A lot of the times this is placed at the end of a word following an M, like in thumb, dumb, climb, but you never say it as dumb-buh unless you're trying to drive home that point, I guess. Stupid! So really, a lot of these words could live without the silent B at the end. Thumb, dumb, clim... Sure. Are all fine, although you may want to add an E to climb. But what about words like doubt? B being there is so weird to me because if you take it out, the O and the U would make it sound like you're pronouncing it as doot because of words like would, could, boulder. Jesus, there are so many different ways to pronounce certain vowels. All of this really stems from the fact that we just seemed too lazy to make newer words that weren't too similar to others that already exist and overwrite them, which confuses non-native speakers when they're trying to learn. It's a bit too complicated for its own good. I mean, when you have 26 unique characters in your alphabet, then you'll try to cram in as much as you can, since other languages have more than 5 vowels, so as to not cause nearly as much confusion. But here's the thing. Are each of these letters really that unique? The ABCs are iconic. I mean, Michael Jackson even made his own song about them. You have A, the front runner for vowels, even being featured in the at symbol, used in a few different ways, but probably the least convoluted vowel of them all. B, a solid consonant despite the examples of its frankly useless silent usage. I mean, words that start with B always feel powerful, like in Batman. His name wouldn't be so cool if saying his name didn't sound like the Boogeyman. If they were called, I don't know, Gatman or Googie Man, then they would probably sound a little silly. And then we have C. I have recently found such an unbridled hatred for this letter, and it actually inspired me to even make this video in the first place. C is the epitome of what modern internet slang has been referring to as a LARPer. Also, on that note, stop misusing LARPing, you clearly don't know what it means. To my point, however, almost every use of the letter C is something that can be replaced by something else. Let's knock them all out in one duo of words. Pacific Ocean. There are 3 whole C's in these words, and each C is pronounced completely differently. Let's focus on the least used variant first. Ocean. There are not very many words that have the C that makes the sh sound, at least not by itself. Special, suspicious, technician, all those words use it too. But why would we spell it with C and not SH? We've already established that SH make that sound in words like she, shoulder, and so on. C doesn't need that extra use. Ocean would be changed to ocean and it works just fine. It doesn't help that sometimes CH makes a sh sound too. Like, why? Chef Brochure and Chicago all become Chef Brochure and Chicago, and again, I think it works just as good, if not better, for one specific reason I will get to in a little bit. Then we have the other 2 in Pacific. These are much more pointless in my opinion because the S and K sound already belonging to 2 other letters of S and K, obviously. S mainly uses the S sound and just sticks to it, except when it sounds like a Z, which I think should just be given to Z when it steals the underutilized letter's thunder. Of course it uses sh when paired with an H, but what I find overly offensive is how dirty C treats the letter K. Like, look at words like back, attack, kick, trick. All these words, C just stands there in front of K like he deserves all the credit. Oh, sorry, I'm saying credit now. C has no right making the K sound. K only has the one use, and it is massively disrespectful when C steps in and overshadows K like that. And there are so many words where C replaces K altogether. Like how respect should use a K. Same with crowd, cook, and accident should just have a K and an S. And the crazy part is, there is only one use of C that is special, that no other letter can do, and that's why it gets a barely a pass, in my opinion. The ch sound. Not when it's used in brochure, where it makes the shush sound as well. C and H make both for seemingly no reason. Cheese, beach, and words like hitch. Also, just ditch the T and give us hitch and ditch. It should not make an SH sound as well, since this is the only special use with it. The ABCs should be switched to the AB cheese and give the other words with C's the proper letters. Here, let's give us a new sentence full of C's and switch them out. The cheeky, crazy cat called Ace couldn't climb the cheese tree because his fancy claws were cut in the city. Now, was that so hard? Another letter that destroys the use of K is Q, a letter that can literally only be used with a U attached to it. Quick, quit, acquire, turquoise, all of it just makes the K sound. Just get rid of the Q altogether and replace all of its uses with a KW. Like, if I saw quilt, I would know exactly how to pronounce it. More justice for the K, man. I mean, it's literally in my my damn YouTube name. And in terms of letters that spit on K, it isn't even the last one. X, the letter that is more symbol than letter. X is used in two different forms to make a Z sound, which is stupid. I shouldn't need to explain why xylophone should be spelt xylophone and not xylophone. And a KS sound, like in axe or extravagant. Honestly, neither Q or X have any right being in the English alphabet purely because of all of their uses can be easily switched out for other letters and have no real significance. I know I got more riled up about C, but at least that letter ended up having at least one good use. In cases where a combination of letters can make the sounds another letter makes, I think it's a little pathetic that you'd even choose it over that said letter. Like with the PH making the F sound. Pharmacy, alphabet, and telephone, all of these can easily be shafted from the PH to an F, not much more to say. I know I said earlier that vowels aren't really a problem, but oh my god, yes they are. I ended up realizing how confusing the pronunciation of air can be, considering the insane amount of letter combinations that make it. In words like bear, it makes that sound, but not in the word fear, where it sounds like ear. But it's spelled almost exactly the same way. Then we have where, and while we're at it, where. Side by side to here and R, I would be confused too. Lastly, we have chair, and I can't off the top of my head think of words that use A, I, and R in this combination that don't sound like air, so in my opinion, that should be the common use for it. God, this alphabet is so confusing. I know this video was a lot different from what I usually make, but if you guys like it and it does well, then, you know, hell yeah, I just wanted to complain about this just because it's been on my mind. Maybe next time I'll complain about the type of lobotomites that wander into my job. Nobody take this video too seriously. I mean, I don't think this video will impact the course of the English language for the rest of time or anything, but I just wanted to yap. Either way, subscribe. Bye.